friends, this is Hedda. Welcome back to my channel, or if it's the first time that you're here, welcome to the first of many mochibujo videos you're going to watch this year. Today I am going to take you through the books that I read in March, as well as the spreads that I made for them in my reading journal. My reading journal is a Neapolitan notebook from Archer and Olive, so it has a white, black and craft paper, and throughout March we're going to go from a white to a craft paper section, so that's always fun. Before we get into the spreads though, if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so because it really helps my channel grow, and click that like button if you're enjoying my content. The first book that I read in March was Heir of Fire, which is part of Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series. True to tradition, I made and filmed this spread at one of my local cafes. I really like this one because of the wood counter and their delicious coffee, and it was finally warm enough to get an iced latte on this particular day, so I went for it. My March cover page is green and pink, so I decided to build further on that and make this spread mostly green but with a hint of pink. I got some origami paper in different patterns at Norway Design in Oslo a month ago or so, and I wanted to use some of this green one in this spread. The black and white washi sticker with a plant on it is from AliExpress, and I just recently got a package of these, so I've used these flowers in several of my spreads in my reading journal this month. Although brown and green can look great together, I didn't want to add too much vintage vibes to the spread, so I'm using some old book pages and then also some newer white paper. At the bottom of the right page, I am using this page ripped out of a book that a pen pal sent to me, and then I'll add older book pages to the top half of the spread in just a sec. The washi tape that I am using in this spread is from Archer and Olive, and I really wanted to use it here because I recently bought a pack of these during their spring release. I also got some calligraph pens as well because I really like Archer and Olive's brush pens. Sadly, none of their greens was exactly the kind of green I would have wanted for the spread, but I used pink instead and got those pink details that I wanted. I'm just layering washi tapes and ripped paper and then adding stickers on top of those. This plant sticker I got is from a pen pal, and the plant sticker on the bottom of the page is from Marigona Suli Art. I'm using my X-Acto knife to cut the washi tape in half right where the pages meet, because this means that the tape won't have to stretch and bend every time I open and close my journal. I also found that the dots don't line up perfectly in this notebook, so by cutting the washi tape in half I can at least make it line up with the dots on both pages. Just a tiny detail that is important to me but might be unimportant to you. Moving on to the left page of the spread, I made a bit more of a structured collage by cutting a rectangle out of this green paper and then layering the plant washi sticker on top of it. I think it looks really cool, but maybe a bit too square and tidy for this spread, I don't know. For the top of the left page, I layered some of the origami paper again so that it wouldn't just appear in one place on the page. Using the same components in different places in a collage spread makes it feel more cohesive in my opinion. This is the moment where I realized I had managed to rip a particularly interesting piece out of the book page. I placed a few more stickers around the spread so that it felt a bit more detailed. I also love finishing a sticker sheet completely, so it was very satisfying to use the last pink book stickers here. For the title, I wrote Heir of Fire with a pink brush pen, and I took some inspiration from my April bullet journal setup for this title. I actually really like how the pink looks in contrast with all of the green. So, Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Let's talk about the book. It's the third book in the Throne of Glass series, and I think this was the book that really made me feel committed to reading the whole series. It introduces some key characters and it kind of reveals the bigger plot that was missing from the first book and a bit in the second book as well. At this point, I felt that the books just get better and better, which is a really good feeling to have about a book series. Obviously, I don't want to spoil anything from this book for you guys since it is a series, but after being on TikTok and seeing everyone talk about Rowan, it was kind of nice to finally know who he was and what he meant for the story as a whole. Side note, I've been going to Barnes & Noble a lot here in the US, and now I feel even more like I want to read all of the fantasy. Like, there are so many good looking books, and I want to read all of them immediately. it's really hard to not buy everything. I actually unintentionally wrote this whole spread in English, which felt really weird afterwards since I usually write my book spreads in Norwegian. It just happened, it was an unconscious decision, so finally most of you can actually understand what I am writing in my reading journal. But yeah, I really like the vibe of the spread. The second book that I read in March was The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I did a collaboration with Book of the Month last month for my previous reading journal video, and this is one of the books that they gifted me. This spread I set up at home, so this part of the video is coming to you from the dining table on a fine spring morning. For this spread I wanted to move away from the green and focus more on the pink, and since I was still a bit high on the cherry blossom theme in my bullet journal, I decided to do the same theme for this spread. It definitely doesn't fit the book, which is quite dark and mysterious, but that's fine. That's not what my reading journal is about anyway. I make whatever theme I feel like using the stationery that I have at hand. In this spread, I almost exclusively used washi tape and scrapbooking paper from Notebook Therapy, but I also cut out some paperclip stickers from a washi tape from the washi tape shop, and I used some old paper from a Polish book that a pen pal sent to me. Oh, and I also used some of my words and quotes stickers from my Dark Academia collection in my sticker shop. I do actually have discount codes for a lot of the brands that I've mentioned so far in this video, so definitely open the description box and check out my affiliate codes if there's a shop you'd like to purchase something from. Prior to reading this book, it had actually been years since I picked up a murder mystery novel, but I'm really happy that I got to read this one. It captured my attention really fast, and it had plot twists and mystery. It was very easy to read as well. I brought it with me on my flight from Norway to the US in the middle of March, and I read most of it on that trip. At first, the way it was written was a bit unusual for me because it switched so quickly between the different characters' point of view, but I got used to it real fast, and then it was kind of nice to just get these small snippets of their inner monologue, seeing how an event happened from different perspectives. I'm not a huge fan of super long chapters because I like to be able to read a little bit at a time without having to stop in the middle of a chapter. So I don't know why I was so put off by the writing style in the beginning, because it was actually perfect for me. So I'm definitely happy that I read it, and I would recommend it to anyone who likes murder mysteries. I'm already lending this book to friends here in Utah. I used my periwinkle brush pen for the title, and then I used my blue zebra Sarasa gel pen for the main writing part. This pen was actually a gift from Suzanne, a lovely girl I met up with towards the end of last year, and I loved it so much I got more of this pen in different colors. The vintage colors of the Sarasa pens are definitely my vibe. I really like how the spread turned out, and I feel like I was able to write down my thoughts on the book in a good way too. It's kind of nice to have a spread in my reading journal that reflects my bullet journal spreads, even though those are for April and this is for March. Yep. The third and last book that I read in March is Queen of Shadows, which is another Throne of Glass series book. It's definitely been a Sarah J. Maas kind of month. This spread was made at another coffee shop. This time my partner Jordan came along, and he really wanted me to show you guys this drawing that he made on a post-it note. He's reading Dune at the moment, as you might be able to tell. So this spread is for Queen of Shadows, the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series. This spread is half white, half craft paper, which is always a fun challenge in this particular notebook. I didn't have a plan in mind for the spread, but as I was getting my stationery out on the table, I started leaning towards peach colors rather than strictly pink. I mean, I didn't make it a rule that all my spreads in March had to have pink in them, it just kind of happened. This is the most consistent I've ever been in regards to theme in my reading journal, I think. So this video probably appears a lot more consistent than my other monthly reading journal videos, maybe. Anyway, I started off with a square of patterned paper from a memo pad from Stationery Pal, and then I layered some washi tape on top of it, as well as stickers, and then some ripped paper from a book again. There's a lot of repeating steps in my collage spreads, yet they turn out differently every time anyway. I knew that I liked the combination of pink on craft paper already because my December cover page was pretty much pink on craft paper. So I got out more cherry blossom themed washi tapes and stickers from my own shop, and then I made a pink spread that was a lot warmer than the spread for the Paris apartment. That spread is definitely colder and has more blue, while this spread for Queen of Shadows have warmer pinks and peach tones to kind of complement the warmer craft paper. I definitely prefer warm colors over cool colors, so peach is one of those colors I always gravitate towards. Unrelated, but kind of funny, have you noticed how I keep losing press-on nails in this video? I started off with a full set, but over the course of the 2 weeks that I filmed these clips, the nails have fallen off one by one, and I didn't bother gluing them on again because I wasn't a huge fan of the nails, so I wanted them all to fall off, but then some of them just wouldn't, and I don't like removing them like using force because I worry about damaging my real nails. Somehow, even if I use like nail polish remover and follow all these steps, I still end up like ripping some of my nail off sometimes. So here I am with just a few press-on nails, and I felt really self-conscious about it, but then again, it's just nails, no big deal, it's okay. Many of you probably didn't even notice until I told you, so yeah. Anyway, back to Queen of Shadows. I think that this one was the most entertaining book so far in the series, with the most action out of all the books. I maintain my stance that this series just gets better and better, but I wonder if it will stay that way through the whole series. I definitely love seeing more of Manon, and I guess I can't really say that much about this book without spoiling a lot of the story, so that makes it a little bit difficult. But all in all, I really liked it, and I've already started on the 5th book. I don't know if I'll get through 2 Throne of Glass books in April, but at least one should be possible. The stickers that I used in the spread are from my own shop, and they're called Spring in Japan. I released them last year actually, but I really like them. They've been a part of my shop since almost the beginning, so yeah, they are very special to me. And the last spread I'm going to make in this video is my cover page for April. I like to set up the cover page in advance. I used to set them up after the month, but now I kind of like setting it up in advance. I'm not really sure what changed, but here we are. We are back at the dining table again, and for this cover page, both pages are craft paper. I love making collages on craft paper, so this cover page was really fun to make. I'm in a kind of butterfly phase at the moment, whatever that means, so my theme for this cover page is butterflies, and the color scheme is, wait for it, pink. Surprise! I don't know what happened, spring does something to me and all I can see is pink. I used these stamps from Notebook Therapy to make little frames where I can write down the book titles. For April, I am making 4 of these frames because I've already started on 2, kind of 3 books, and I think I can get started on 2 more before the end of April. When I started my reading journal, I definitely didn't anticipate I'd be reading so many books every month, so it's a pleasant surprise for me. It's become a habit to read a little bit almost every day, and Jordan and I even have reading dates where we bring our books, get some food or drink at a cafe or restaurant, and then we just read for a bit next to each other. I can highly recommend having a reading buddy, even if you're reading different books, but there has been a recent development in our reading buddy relationship because Jordan and I went into Barnes & Noble to window shop for books because it's fun and we do this sometimes, and he picked up A Court of Thorns and Roses all by himself. I did not mention it, I did not point to it. He just picked it up and was like, oh, this is a cool cover, and I was like struggling to contain my excitement. He ended up buying it though, so now we're reading it together. Although I read ACOTAR for the first time in November, I'm now reading it for the second time in April because I just have to know his reactions to everything, because it's a very fun book series to see people's reaction to, so I just can't let him do it by himself. I have to be there. I will of course update you on how it's going in my next reading journal video if we've finished it by the end of April. Anyway, back to the spread. As I've done on many other cover page spreads in my reading journal so far, I am using the right page to hold the books that I am reading that month, and then the left page is more just for decoration and will have the April title and all of that. I played around with the different pieces a lot. I added washi tape, removed washi tape, added paper, removed paper. It was so much back and forth that I didn't include it all in this video because it got kind of boring to look at least for me who was editing it. I was just putting things down and removing them again. But in the end I landed on different patterned pink memo pads, which I ripped into rectangles, some vellum paper with butterflies on them, ripped out paper from books, washi plant stickers, and butterfly stickers from my sticker shop. I also used butterfly stamps, both from Notebook Therapy and Stationery Pal, because I thought the stamps looked really nice next to the stickers. Had I done only stickers or only stamps, it could have been a bit too repetitive and intense, I think. But with a mix of both, I think it turned out really nice. I somehow lost a bit of the footage of me putting together the left page, like the beginning of it. I guess maybe I forgot to hit record or something, I don't know. But luckily it wasn't too much that was left out. I like the look of the black and white flowers combined with the butterfly stickers and stamps. And overall I feel like the spread is balanced, even though it has a lot of components and it's slightly chaotic. I guess April is my chaotic month because if you watched my April bullet journal setup, that was quite chaotic as well. There is an elephant in the room though, and that is that I didn't read a book for my Around the World challenge this month. I started reading Sweet Darusia by Ukrainian author Maria Matios actually. I think you know why I chose a Ukrainian author for my next challenge book. I started it, but I haven't finished it. I could only find it as an ebook while I was still in Norway, not as paperback or audiobook, and I find that I'm not super fond of ebooks. It's taking me a while to read it, but I'll get through it and I'll just have to read 2 books for my challenge in April. So I have faith in myself. It's gonna happen. So yeah, this video has a spread less, I guess, than normal because the other month so far I've mostly read 4 or 5 books every month, but this month I only read 3, which is totally fine. I am happy with having read 3 books. That's already a lot for me actually, so yeah. And my notebook is getting chunkier and chunkier. It will probably be so chunky by the end of the year. And that's everything for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of the books that I read this month and what your thoughts are on them. And if you watched this video all the way to the end, put a pink or a purple emoji in your comments so that I know that you watched everything. If you're interested in seeing my full reading journal setup, then I have a video all about that, so you can check that out on my channel. I make videos every month about my reading journal, what I read in the previous month, and also my cover page for the next month. So if that's something that you're interested in, please consider subscribing. I also make pen pal letters and bullet journal content, so there's a lot to choose from. Be sure to check the description box for links to all of my other social media, as well as my sticker shop. I recently had a shop update in my sticker shop, so definitely check that out if that's something that you might be interested in. And I think that's all for now. I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!